All right, what's good, YouTube? All right, we're gonna keep this one short, simple, and sweet. As you can see, we're doing a Gemini review, the album Gemini, light went out. The Gemini album review by Lucki. I'm gonna go run through it kind of quickly, make it short, sweet, simple. Let's see what we got here. So this album has 20 songs on in it, and out of the 20 songs, what I've got on my playlist is let's see. I got Big Gavel, Brazy for Real, Hustlers Music, Heavy on My Heart, Ski What It Be, R.I.P., and Outro. Right, so that's one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 songs um, out of 20, which is not that great. Let's see. Let's see what that equates to. Uh, it's only like a 35% or so. So let's see here. So we got 20 songs. Yeah, so 20 divided by the 7. Oops, sorry, 7 divided by 20 is about 0.35. So basically, it's about a 35 out of 100 or a 3.5 out of 10, however you want to look at it. Either which way, it's a little bit below average, is how I would put it. It's a little bit below average. So if we were doing a scale grading scale 1 through 10, it's basically like a 3.5, right? Um, so my thoughts initially on this album was when it first came out, and I was looking at, it, I was like, okay, this is probably a pretty solid album. It's got some decent tracks on here, some nice, a decent amount of tracks on here, some nice features. I thought 20 songs was a little bit too much. I think he probably should have just cut it in half, made it about 10 songs, and then just did 2 albums. Because if you look at it, he's got some pretty solid features. You got the Rollo, 42 Doug, BZ, you got Lucky on there, and then you got them again, and then Yachty. I probably would have broke this up into 2 albums and I made 2 different albums, one with Lucky on it, one with Yachty on it, one for Rollo song, another one for Rollo song, one with the VZ song, and one with the 42 Doug song, obviously. That's probably how I would have done it. So he could have stretched this project out a little bit more. He could have been made like a Gemini 1 or something like that. Put it out now. A couple months later, Gemini 2 Part 2 or something like that. Is probably how I would have done it because like I say, 20 songs is a bit steep. So let's just say he did 10 songs rather than the 20 songs. And let's just say just so happens the 7 songs that I like was on the first album or the second album, or we split them up between the two. Then his ratio would be probably a little bit better for me if you were to look at it like that. Um, my things with this album was I enjoyed, I liked his cadence, his style, his flow like I normally would. And I've always liked Lucky too as well. I actually used to listen to Lucky way back in the day when he was just going by the name Lucky X. Oh, let me get that off. Sorry, guys. When he's going by the name Lucky X, and then he just dropped the X off. I actually didn't even realize those two guys were the same people. One day I was just listening to Lucky X, and I was probably in like 8th grade, and yeah, I was probably about 7th or 8th grade listening to him. Way different style of rap, kind of more of like a Chance the Rapper almost type of more of a lyrical boom bap type of style. It was just very different. And then all of a sudden he changed a little bit, and I was like, when I found bumped into Lucky as far as listening to his music, I was like, man, this guy looks like Lucky X and looks very similar. And then that's when I realized and connected the dots. But this was years and years ago. But the thing that I like the most about this album is just his beat selection, his cadence, his style, how he actually raps. Things I dislike is, man, this is like the most, like if you wanted a mumble rap album, this is it. Because there's a lot of songs where you can tell he's just strictly mumbling. He's very incoherent. You can tell he's probably off of some other prescription drugs. He's not all the way there. I'm not a big proponent of that. If you smoke weed, cool. I mean, I don't have no problems with that. Anything really past that, I'm not like a huge fan, especially perpetuating it, pushing it like it's something cool to do. Because I mean, if you listen to the songs and his music, he's talking about having you know emotional issues, depression, stuff like that, or drug use and essentially being an addict. He's essentially like a addict is how he explains it in his songs. So I'm not a big proponent of that. Overall, the album was pretty decent. It wasn't that great. It was all right. I definitely would give it out of the if I was to grade this, not doing the grading scale like I do with my phone and everything. I would give it somewhere between like out of 1 through 10. I probably would give it about a 3, maybe a 4. My top songs on this album that I really enjoyed. Let me go back and look, just make sure I don't forget one. Is I really enjoyed Hustler's Music, R.I.P. and I like Outro, but I like the second half of Outro. I do like the style of like making the song, and it's got like 2 songs in it. I think that's kind of cool. Like one bridges to the other. That's pretty sweet. I love the beat selections. A lot of good producers were in there. Shout out to all the producers that were in there. I mean, overall, it was a decent album. I was a little bit underwhelmed, a little not as impressed as I had hoped to be. Um, but I think my lack of of being impressed by this has more so due to the fact that a lot of the songs he's mumbling a lot. A lot of the songs he's a little bit incoherent, and it's hard to like understand what he's saying. There's some portions of the songs where he's saying something, and it's kind of like he loses where he was going with it, and he kind of catches back up and gets back on it. I think one song that he actually does that is I think it's R.I.P. It's kind of like you can tell he's like kind of got at something that he sparks back up and gets some really hard bars and then he kind of dies back down. But I think that has to do with him being up and down on his drugs and whatnot while he's recorded. So I wish there was a little bit more consistency through this album, and a little more clarity. Aside from that, it wasn't really like a bad album or anything. It just wasn't my favorite. I was looking for. I was maybe maybe I was expecting a lot more than what he gave. So maybe it could be on me. But personally, I think 20 songs and I only like seven of them. I don't know if it was like these are throwaway songs, if they were rush songs, or if this is just the best quality that we're getting. But overall, I like Lucky as an artist, as a person. Lucky was always one of those people in the underground that, well, we never got to work with each other, but he would communicate and we'd be talking back and forth. And anytime I had something going on, he'd always, tap in and check in with me and make sure I was cool or straight or throw his 2 cents in there. So Lucky's a really good dude as far as the underground. I put him kind of mark him up there with like Fawny and D Savage as far as working with me and being like communicative. I'd like to see a lot more from Lucky. I do want to see a little bit better of a performance, a little bit better of an album the next go around. It's not a bad album, like I say. It's just maybe I was expecting a little bit more, or either, like I said, the things that I did like they are genuine gripes. Aside from that, man, it's not a bad album. I want to see Lucky thrive and continue to move and grow. I hope that he drops another album soon. I hope we get something very similar to what we got here because I like the style, the flow, and the cadence of all of this. I just wish there's a little bit of things that were tweaked just a little bit. And I'm gonna run through this album again, listen to it. Maybe I might add another song or two to my playlist after listening to it a couple more times. But as of right now, kind of where I'm at with it. Not a bad album. Great artist, great dude, great person. Keep following him and supporting him. Follow and support me and myself. Follow me on all my social media. Milan makes beats. If I got it, you'll find me. If I don't, you won't. And that's really about it, guys. Man, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know which video or album you want me to do a review next, or what you guys want to see next as far as tutorials. We kind of go from there, man. That's about it. Peace.